The gifts of history. Craft turns to art. And art to couture. Preserving talents gifted to us by Father Time. Hyderabad, capital of a former princely state. Here, under the encouragement of the Nawabs and pleasure-loving nobles, craftsmen flourished and their crafts were reckoned amongst the world's most sublime. And amongst the most exquisite of the crafts that could only flourish under the Nizam's patronage was filigree, the art of twisting priceless silver and gold into lace-like delicacy. Filigree is common to cultures separated through time and space. Yet to experience filigree's most ancient patterns, its most sublime self, you have to travel to the tiny township of Karimnagar. In Karimnagar, it is the massive Elegantla fort that dominates the landscape. It's believed that this is where filigree originated and spread to Karimnagar, 14 kilometers away.
200 years के पहले ये एलिगंदल डिस्ट्रिक्ट था इसी इधर सोनार फैमिली को सोच में आया चांदी में भी ये नवाबों को कोई भी अच्छा आइटम करके दिए तो नवाब ने खुश हो गया इतना अच्छा हाट है बोल के उन्होंने करीमनगर में जगह दिया.
In the absence of the Nawabs who supported his forefathers, Aroju Ashok, along with other inheritors of this craft, started SIFCA, an association dedicated to keeping filigree alive by introducing new designs and focusing on working primarily in silver.
इतना अच्छा सुंदर आइटम्स भी मेरा ग्रैंडफादर बनाया. मैं भी ऐसा बना के टोटल इंडिया में और बाहर में भी एक्सपोर्ट करने को सोच रहा हूँ.
Aroju Ashok's friend and SIFCA secretary G. Ashok has converted a small room of his house into his workshop. His youngest disciple is none other than his own 3-year-old daughter, who keenly observes the maestro at work.
मेरा नाम गद्दे अशोक कुमार है. मैं 12 साल से ये काम कर रहा हूँ. मेरा एज तो 34 इयर्स है और ये काम हमारा पिताजी और ग्रैंडफादर ये पूरा हमारा ट्रेडिशनली आ रहे हैं. मैंने भी ये काम को सीखा है और 15-20 लोगों को भी ये काम को सिखाया. मैं अभी तो मुकुट बना रहा हूँ. साईं बाबा के लिए मुकुट बना रहा हूँ. इसके लिए पहला हम इसका पैटर्न और डिज़ाइन कागज़ पे कर लेते हैं.
Designing happens first. The design made on paper is in exact proportion with the actual item, so precision is key to a good design.
चांदी को गला के ऐसा रॉड्स बना लेते हैं. 0.2% कॉपर मिलाते हैं.
Ashok has to convert this rod into thousands of minute silver pieces of different shapes and size that complete this beautiful jigsaw, that is this tiara. Each piece of silver is checked on this measuring gauge to ensure its measurements match the intricacy and detailing of the tiara's different elements.
ऐसा ही है.
A little heating and the silver wire is hot enough to be converted into the thousands of tiny shapes needed to make up the tiara's design.
सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड है.
The fine detailing begins. Every wire is individually processed to turn it into the little florets and twists that the design demands. Interestingly, each of these silver shapes has a different name that personalizes it to Ashok and craftsmen like him.
इसको तो सुडुलू बोलते हैं, ये बेलू बोलते हैं, बेल। इसका नाम पाटकर मोला बोलते हैं, इसको पाटकर बनाने के लिए यूज करते हैं।
Ashok's simple homemade tools made out of everyday implements under the guidance of his expert hands weave lace out of silver, imbuing metal with magnificence. The tiara begins to take shape as Ashok bends the thick wires that mark the tiara's perimeter and support the tiny surugulus and belus that adorn the tiara. The lodestone of the entire piece, the outer wires must be fitted with care. Any negligence now and Ashok's labours will be for naught. Shape secured, it's time to gild the lily. The tiny surugulus and belus come into their own as Ashok's skilled fingers fix them to the tiara. Over the centuries that silver filigree has been fashioned in Karimnagar, expert artisans have made this their home and have given Karimnagar not just their skill, but their passion, their imagination and their devotion.
విశ్వకర్మకు ఇప్పుడు మాకు వంశ వృక్షానికి విశ్వకర్మ భగవానుడు మాకు ఆదిదేవుడు అన్నట్టు ఆయనకు 5 కొడుకులు पहले मनु तो वुड कार्विंग काम करते मैं ब्रह्मो आयरन वर्क फर्स्ट ब्रास वर्क शिल्पी स्टोन कार्विंग काम करते विश्वज्ञ गोल्ड वर्क ट्रेडिशनली మా తాత మా ముత్తాతల నుంచి వస్తుంది మా నాన్న మా తాత ముత్తాత అట్లా.
Yet this traditional craft, come from gods and nurtured by kings, has faltered in commercial times, the reasons complex and not easily solved. Dayakarachari bemoans that the lack of new investment and high raw material costs are the two most disturbing problems. But Dayakarachari's is just one view. At the other end of the spectrum is veteran art collector Jagdish Mittal. His hands might not have the skill of the craftsman, he may not be able to make metal into lace, but his passion for the craft is no less for it. A lifetime collecting and researching this silver filigree has given him definite opinions on the filigree's fall from grace.
Raw material is not a problem. Raw material is the cost will go up, the customers pay. But then the problem with the craftsmen is once they get an order, they become lax and they start repeating, the quality goes down. But if they can guarantee for their future that if they have to be sincere, they will produce the same quality each time, then of course things will sell.
The tradition of silver filigree is unbroken in India. Karimnagar's output is a treasure trove for historians who find its artisans replicating the delicacy of the designs of ancient Greece. Yet, what draws historians is not what excites customers or feeds craftsmen. What worked in the pavilions of Greece and the Zenana of Hyderabad don't have quite the same cachet for modern Mem Sahibs. New times require new designs.
డెవలప్మెంట్ కమిషన్ ఆఫ్ హ్యాండిక్రాఫ్ట్ వాళ్ళ ద్వారా డిసిఎస్ సర్వీస్ సెంటర్ వరంగల్ నుంచి వెళ్ళి మనకు ఇది శాంక్షన్ అయింది ప్రోగ్రాము, ట్రైనింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్. ఒక 10 మందికి ఇది నేర్పడం జరిగింది. అందులో 7 మెంబర్స్ లేడీస్, 3 మెంబర్స్ జెంట్స్, ఇలా ముగ్గురికి. వాళ్ళకి చిన్న చిన్న వర్కుల మీద ఇయర్ హ్యాంగింగ్స్ కానీ టాప్స్, నెక్లెస్, బ్రాస్, చిన్న చిన్న వస్తువులపైన వాళ్ళకు ట్రైనింగ్ ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది.
These efforts aren't enough. Divorced from the consumer, artisans have no way of knowing what customers need, unlike when they executed custom-designed objects for the courts. Designer-artisan collaborations of the kind that have proven so successful in reviving traditional embroideries and weaves could provide filigree the fresh start it so desperately needs. The need for this fresh new start becomes starkly apparent when we return to Ashok. For the last 24 hours, he, his brother Murli Krishna and 2 other trainee artisans have been dedicatedly working on the tiara, painstakingly fitting together tiny surugulu. Over the years, this intricate detailing, which can take days, weeks, months, adds up. Older artisans often find they've given up their vision on the altar of their craft.
इसको अभी सोल्डरिंग करने के लिए हम थोड़ा गर्म करके इसको पैड से उठाना पड़ेगा.
The tiara is in its final stage. As it gets its shine back, Murli Krishna is ready for the final touches.
अभी तो श्री साईनाथ का मुकुट कंप्लीट हो गया.
Commissions like this tiara are few and far between. While substantial, it will decorate the brow of a temple's god. And how many of these will even a god need? So for artisans like Ashok to continue their craft, they need to become artists and salesmen, designers and craftsmen. With his thorough market research, brushed up English and Hindi, and newly acquired computer skills, he's ready to conquer the world. What he needs is a chance to understand the demands of modern consumers, the chance to reimagine an ancient craft for contemporary times. A scant 140 kilometers from Hyderabad, Bidar is the birthplace of yet another ancient craft. Once the capital of the mighty Bahmani Empire, this small town in northern Karnataka is now the repository of some of its finest talents, its proudest legacies. But even more than the monuments that elevate Bidar from Mufassal town to the seat of empire are the living, throbbing examples of the Sultanate skill. The people of Bidar practice the craft to which Bidar has lent its name, Bidri. Yet truly speaking, it's the craft that's given this sleepy town its identity. So it's no surprise that one of the most famous addresses in Bidar is Kulsum Gully, a small noisy lane that's where Bidar's master craftsmen practice.
मेरा वालिद साहब है मेरे, वो अभी साउथ अमेरिका गए हैं, ब्राज़ील डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन के लिए गए हुए हैं जी.
तो अभी आप दिखा पाओगे?
जी हाँ, मैं पूरा बतलाऊंगा आपको. मैं उनका बेटा हूँ, मैं भी यही काम करता हूँ. ये
Abdul Rauf's father, Mohammad Rauf, is a national award-winning Bidri artisan, and he himself is part of a tradition of Bidri craftsmen going back generations.
अगर मैं आपको कंप्लीट अगर बतलाने के लिए कम से कम मेरे को एक आधा दिन तो लगेगा, छोटा सा आइटम। अगर मैं बड़ा सा आइटम लूँगा 2 से 3 दिन लग जाएगा। मैं अभी आपको इसका पहले प्रोसीजर फर्स्ट कैसा स्टार्टिंग होता है, कैसा शुरू होता है, मैं आपको वो मोल्डिंग प्रोसीजर बताऊंगा। उसके लिए क्या क्या यूज़ करता है मैं आपको बताऊंगा।
A curious mix of a designer's studio and industrial workshop. This space is perfectly suited to Abdul, who seems part engineer, part artist and wholly confident of his skill. His magic hands conjure the most delicate designs out of ordinary metal, and fittingly, he chooses to make us Aladdin's magic lamp, a crowd favorite.
ये सांचे में मैं अब हमारा मास्टरपीस रख दिए हम। अभी हम इसमें मिट्टी डाल देते हैं इसमें। अभी ये मैंने मिट्टी डालने के बाद इसको हम टाइट करते हैं पूरा। ये इसी तरह से मिट्टी छाट लेना पड़ता है हमारे को। छाट लेने के बाद फिर से हम पाउडर मारते हैं ये। अभी ये सांचा तैयार हो गया है। अभी इसमें सिर्फ अब मेटल गलाना पड़ता है हमारे को। मेटल के लिए जो प्रोसीजर होता है, ये जिंक होता है, जो हम 90% जिंक और 10% कॉपर मिक्स करते हैं इसमें हम। ये मिक्स अलाय होने के बाद ही इसमें मोल्ड करते हैं हम इसको। अभी गलने के लिए कम से कम इसको हमारे को 30 मिनट्स तो लगेंगे।
Waiting for the metal alloy to get ready, a chance exploration reveals that Bidri is by no means a male-dominated craft. Lakshmi Bai, an award-winning Bidri artisan, is a pleasant find right in the heart of Bidri Colony, a residential complex built specially for Bidri artisans. Her language, which borrows from Marathi, Kannada and Telugu, reveals how cosmopolitan Bidri is.
माझं नाव आहे लक्ष्मीबाई पिसे आणि मी 40 वर्षांनं काम करते. आधी आमच्या माहेरमध्ये काम करत होते, तिथं थोडं शिकलो. तिथं आल्यानंतर सासरवाडीमध्ये थोडं शिकलो. आम्ही शेणाई करतो, गॅबलेट करतो, बांगड्या बनवतो, किचन, आरसा सर्व बनवतो. आमच्या घरामध्ये एक मुलगा आहे माझा, सून आहे, त्यांचे 6 लेकरं. जे शिकावं लागतं मग ह्याच्यामध्ये मेहनत जास्त करावं लागतं आहे. इन्कम कम आहे. म्हणजे सकाळी 7 न धरून संध्याकाळी 7 वाजेपर्यंत बसायला लागतं आहे. आजकालची मुलं कुठे बसतील?
While Lakshmi Bai wants her grandchildren to study and prepare for a life without Bidri, hope shines strong in young Abdul Bari's eyes. The alloy he's been preparing is now ready. Getting its temperature right is the most important part of this process. A slight error in judgment and all his efforts are in vain. And so he warns, the pouring of the alloy will happen just once, with absolutely no retakes for camera. A successful pour. The temperature is just right and the lamp comes alive in the dusty mold. Abdul lets out a sigh of relief. The engineer in him can take a quick cat nap to allow the artist free rein.
ये अभी सक्सेस हो गया, अभी पास हो गया ये। तो अभी मैं इसका कटिंग वगैरह और फिनिशिंग कैसा होता है वो बतलाऊंगा। अभी ये टेम्पररी ये कॉपर सल्फेट है जो टेम्पररी ब्लैक करता है ये, तो ये हमको ये डिजाइन डालने के लिए लगवाते हैं हम ये।
His skilled hands make quick work of engraving delicate designs on darkened metal, almost too quick. For this is the most creative part of the process and Abdul's favorite.
अभी मेरे को इसका ये सिल्वर रख के इसको प्रेस करना पड़ेगा मेरे को इस तरह का।
Silver sheets and wires are now inlaid in the engraved design. For a layman, it's fascinating to see how silver takes the shape of these intricately carved designs. This process requires plenty of skill, experience, and of course, patience. All of which Abdul has in abundance. The two identical pieces of the lamp are ready to be welded together before this newly made lamp changes its color. But this metamorphosis requires a very special ingredient. And before Abdul heads off on a quest to find it, it's time to invoke some divine intervention. Abdul heads to the Bidar fort to collect the mysterious ingredient that's vital to giving Bidri its distinctive ebony hue. It's something that only the fort can provide, something found nowhere else in the world, giving the fort an unbreakable connection with the craft. After all, this is where Bidri was developed, the protection of its ramparts drawing craftsmen from across India as it draws Abdul today, searching not just for his mystery ingredient, but also for memories of his past.
बचपन की यादें हैं। स्कूल में प्राइमरी में खेला करते थे। प्राइमरी स्कूल इंटरवल होता था तो इंटरवल में आके यहाँ क्रिकेट फुटबॉल खेला करते थे यहाँ पर आके। बिदरी में 10 साल से सीखना शुरू करा। जो पिताजी के अकेले हो गए थे, वो काम ज़्यादा दिन पे दिन ज़्यादा बढ़ता जा रहा था, तो थोड़ा मैन पावर की कमी रहने की वजह से वो मुझको भी काम करना पड़ा है उसमें। तो वो उन्हीं के देख देख कर मैं तकरीबन मैं भी काम सीख चुका हूँ उसमें। अभी तो मुझको बहुत अच्छा लगता है बिदरी काम करने के लिए। जो ट्रेडिशनल काम होता है वो ट्रेडिशनल काम करने के लिए मुझको बहुत मज़ा आता है इसमें काम करने के लिए।
Bidri is definitely going places in the able hands of young artisans like Abdul. But for the time being, he's off to the fort's secret heart, from where he collects his secret ingredient.
ऐसा लगता है कि आजकल में कोई लेके गए मिट्टी यहाँ से, तो ये मिट्टी ये वही है जो हमको काम आती है, मिट्टी है।
It is this soil that gives Bidri its distinctive black color. Somewhere lost in time, someone pierced the secrets of this soil and immeasurably enriched the craft. The discoverer's name? A mystery to us today, but hats off to the discovery. Back in Abdul's workshop, the lamp's almost ready for its makeover. With a quick change of clothes, Abdul is ready to show the magic.
कई सारे लेबोरेटरी के में चेक करें, बेंगलुरु में, दिल्ली में, ऐसा कई चीज़ों में टेस्ट करें मिट्टी में, तो लेकिन अभी तक उसका कोई रिजल्ट नहीं आया कि मिट्टी मेटल को कैसे ब्लैक करती है।
Water and soil from the fort are used to make up a muddy solution into which ammonium sulfate is mixed. The little lamp is dipped into this mixture and lo behold, it's jet black, making the glittering silver inlay come alive. The transformation of mundane zinc and copper into something so exquisite has always attracted lots of attention. The Bidri collection in Hyderabad Salarjung Museum is a treasure trove waiting to be unlocked. Most early Bidriware was in the form of hookah bases. With changing fashion, hookah bases transformed into small, easy-to-carry, portable fashion statements.
हुक्के डिफरेंट शेप के होते हैं। इसमें ख़ास तौर पर ये जो मैंगो शेप हुक्का आप देख रहे हैं, ये हुक्का जो है पोर्टेबल हुक्का है। उमरा और रोसा जब जो है सफ़र किया करते थे तो उनके शागिर्द पेशा इस हुक्का बॉटम को जो है थामे हुए उनके साथ साथ चला करते थे।
Today, big bulky hookah bases have been replaced by much more user-friendly flower vases and jewelry boxes. After all, the products created need to be user-friendly for today's generation. Even the designs engraved are much simpler, minimizing the silver used to keep costs in check. Bangalore-based product designer Vicky Sardesai has cornered the market on contemporary and casual Bidri products.
I studied at the National Institute of Design in Ahmedabad, and made in India is what I'd safely say I am. When I moved to Bangalore, I wanted to now work on craft but as products, and that's when I went again to Bidar and found Rauf. And it was quite interesting because he was excited, yet he was a little apprehensive because he'd never done something like this before. And so started our dialogue and journey, which has been wonderful. Well, actually, when we first started, though I had the Indian market in mind, we were really geared towards export and how we could introduce this in the foreign market. So this is one of the plates I did. This is an ashtray I worked with an American designer called Michael Aram, who wanted to use the barcode as a concept. It was interesting working with him because he sent us a flat design, and then I interpreted it, using a skill which the Bidri craftsmen had never, a technique that they'd never done before, which was to, go in and do layers of this. But they managed to do it and also do the inlays. Okay, so this design was basically jasmine flowers, which I interpreted in Bidri. I did it in marble inlay. We did drop flowers and then do the drawings and then put them onto the products itself. None of the coasters are exactly the same. They're all different. This is another element where, trying to use as little silver as possible, I have done the etching for the silver but not filled it in. And I think it has an incredible effect because it still shows and the silver element is still there.
Bidri has always been in vogue. These beautiful abstract designs, combined with Mohammad Rauf's exemplary craftsmanship, translate the rich legacy of India's handicrafts to today's India. In a sense, past and present meet in these beautiful designs that showcase a rich future for Bidri. Less attenuated to modern consumers than Bidri, yet much further ahead on the road to contemporarization than silver filigree, is a craft that's in the fascinating midst of transforming itself to new consumers and their needs. Pondicherry's leather craft. Pondicherry, a small, serene land where time stands still. Here French is still spoken, chateaux still stand, and hippies still rule amidst the soft sea breezes that give Pondicherry and its international township Auroville a charm that's exotic and quaint all at once. Little wonder then that with its mix of international style and Indian craftsmanship, Pondicherry has managed to develop a tradition of handcrafted leather that's très bien.
I went up school level only, not much study. Name is from D. Deco. She come from America. She's our guru. She's our master. She's a founder of this leather work. She thought how to do this work. Then me and Ganeshan started. Ganeshan started Bidriware Craft. I'm starting her name D Designs. ROD Designs. We get our leather from Chennai. This is leather called EI, Indian traditional leather, this is not yet chemicaled. Any style, whatever they need, we cut first the pattern. Then we put drying of the leather, then we cut. We did emboss, then coloring, then assembling work here. So we are making apply color, which is our style. It is not also chemical, but we apply chemical 5%, which is top apply lacquer. This is the chemical. Other things are not the chemical.
The beautiful bags that Venkateshan crafts are an homage to what's best in craft economies. Working without electricity, he isn't forced into round-the-clock production, ensuring a humane working environment for him and his staff.
If you're going to make a mass production, or you need more skiving, or you need more heavy duty to stitch, then you need. But here all we are doing purely by handmade. So we have one machine which is enough for making pedaling.
In the mid-90s, Venkateshan and other traditional leather workers made a fortune, creating Pondicherry's traditional embossed hard leather bags. But a slow shift in demand for more processed soft leather that looks and feels more luxurious has hit business. What Venkatesh, as a small producer with little access to marketing, can't communicate to consumers scattered across the country is that although hard leather doesn't look sophisticated, it's much more durable. And his leather is vegetable dyed with minimal use of chemicals, making it a good alternative for eco-conscious consumers.
I'm enjoying to do embossing, embossing, stamping, because we can do several designs. It's not a one or two. Suppose I made 1,000 bag, it's 1,000 designs are there.
The initial success of the leather studios in Pondicherry means that here it is no longer a community-specific craft. Important socially, since leather workers traditionally were amongst the lowest in the caste system. Even traditional male domination has given way, and Ganeshan's Bidriware Crafts employs mostly women, ensuring significant social progress is tied to leathercraft success. These women have overcome the initial opposition they faced and are today confident, independent craftswomen.
என் பேர் வள்ளி, ஆலங்குப்பத்துலேருந்து வரேன். இங்கேருந்து 200 மீட்ரு இருக்கும். நான் நடந்து தான் வரேன். லெதர் பேக் வேலை செய்கிறேன். அவங்க கூட நான் ஹெல்ப் பண்ணி ஒர்க் பண்ணிக்கிறேன்.
Like Venkateshan, Ganeshan also uses East Indian tanned leather or Indian traditional leather. Pondicherry's small leather industry survives on this hard leather they get from Chennai. They have limited product range and don't have any fixed marketing strategy.
While we started this workshop, the people were not really aware of our product, because they are thinking it is not leather at all, because the people were really knows about the soft leather only. So I never used to go for marketing, because the people who are coming here in Auroville, they come to know that this products looks really good, and they used it and they really likes it. Once they likes it, and they tell to other friends. In this way, it was conveyed to other people.
Both Ganeshan and Vyankateshan are very content with their work. While orders are slowing down, they're confident they'll never cease. Yet, to ensure the popularity of their craft doesn't dissipate, it's important to hard sell the value of their products as eco-conscious, sustainable, and durable. Not so far from Vyankateshan's and Ganeshan's workshops lives Dilip Kapoor, who's understood the value of hard sell. He's taken Pondicherry leather to every nook and corner of the country and achieved international recognition that few Indian lifestyle brands have. This is his story, the story of high design.
Well, I grew up here, and I think more important than that was I was very, very inspired by what Auroville was planning to do at that time, which is make an international community where where being idealistic in terms of what you're doing in the community was acceptable and was encouraged, and I like that. I was excited about that. And making bag was a hobby. So it was just me and one craftsman sitting and making bags the way I thought would look really nice, and which reflected the way I felt about the craft, the way I felt about leather. And we're just making one bag at a time, that's all. But it did so well. I mean, you know, the demand was so great that I think for the next 10 years we were just constantly increasing people. And it continued. I would say it would have continued as a craft and almost as a hobby, but a big hobby.
Started as a hobby, his leather business has now become an empire. With 2 factories catering to both Indian and international markets, high design has become a phenomenon. For Dilip, leather is much more than a commodity.
So these are some of the leathers that we use. And you can see what I want to show you, how when you use vegetable tanning, the leathers come out very natural. Look at the grain pattern. The grains are absolutely natural. Some places it's flat, some places the grains are bigger. The colors are darker, they're lighter, because it's completely natural. There's no artificialness to it. In leather, this is the teakwood or the rosewood of leathers. You know, it's beautiful, it's natural, it's not painted over, it's great. Come, I'll show you how we cut these leathers and do that.
800 women and 100 men in this factory cut, shape and stitch around 8,000 bags and 3,000 wallets and accessories every month. But in the process of modernization, have these skilled artisans been converted to assembly line drones?
They're definitely artisans, because remember, they're doing things by hand and they're using their own brain every single minute. When you cut here, they have to match that this leather is going to match to the next piece, that they're cutting the right, that they don't use a thin leather for where you need a thick leather. So they're constantly using their brains individually and working with their hands. To me, that's the definition of an artisan.
These women work directly with the designers to produce a product that will steal any woman's heart. This designer-artisan dialogue is the most intriguing aspect of the whole high design experience.
The idea behind this collection is that it basically caters to the needs of a modern Indian woman. So what we are trying to do is we take elements from India or from very traditional motifs and all, but convert it into a modern shape which she can carry every day.
Every year, thousands of tourists come to Pondicherry. The town has transformed itself from a quaint colonial town to a favorite tourist destination with modern amenities and attractions. And following this transformation is Pondicherry's leather craft. Some parts of it cleave to its Indian soul, while others exemplify the new India, chic, trendy and confident. Fashion is all about adopting the latest trends, while craft by its very nature is timeless. Yet Indian crafts like India herself are malleable, adopting the new, adapting the old. And craftsmen with the skills of generations in their hands, the aesthetics of lifetimes in their hearts are eager to innovate and create the unusual and the unexpected. Today, there are many designers and organizations involved in preservation and promotion of these crafts. But it's more important they all work in one direction without losing focus of their common goal.
People who are trying to help the crafts, they need to understand what they really want to do. Without research, whatever is happening will not help in any long run also. There has to be a lot of research and there has to be a lot of responsibility in terms of design, at least in form. They have to ensure, even if it is a modern contemporary form, the essence of the craft has to reflect, and that will only happen when the artisan is sitting with you while you are designing. Otherwise, you may come up with very fancy designs and then they will be labeled as designer jewelry but never sell as Karimnagar filigree jewelry. That's what.
Well, I basically think if the crafts sector has to work in this country, they should, set up cooperatives wherever it is, because then they become accountable to each other. Whereas here what happens is a craftsman, as I said, he'll come to you when he's hungry and say, give me work. But when you give him the work, he can never keep a deadline. Rauf, I must say, in the process, has learnt to do that.
As you find in fashion, the textiles and other things, when the designs are different, people buy the same product, if it is a fabric or a vase or even a fountain pen or anything. If the design is changed, people go in for a new design.
But there is always hope when young artisans like Abdul talk about taking the crafts to the next generation.
अभी इंशाल्लाह देखेंगे अभी काम तो बहुत अच्छा है मेरे बच्चों को तो ज़रूर सिखाऊंगा मैं अगर ये काम को आगे कायम रखना है उनको भी तो काम को सिखाएंगे हम ये मेरे बच्चों को भी सिखाऊंगा मैं इंशाल्लाह
While fashions come and go, Indian crafts are forever. What's vital is preserving technique. After all, forms are ephemeral.